There exists a path of profound liberation that is available to anyone, and it begins simply by listening, by tuning into the wisdom that transcends time and space. There is no need to wait for a future moment of realization. The essence of freedom is not a distant goal, but a present reality to be embraced now. Our journey through life should be taken with this awareness, letting go of the clinging mind that constantly seeks, desires, and resists. This mind creates its own momentum, but we must remain vigilant, observing its movements without attachment. The key to liberation lies in withdrawing our interest from the mind's incessant chatter. Whether the mind is active or at rest, it is essential to recognize that our true nature is beyond the fluctuations of thought and emotion. This self, once discovered, is a beacon that never dims, guiding us back to our innermost essence. It is a purity so profound, so untouched by the world's impurities, that nothing in this world can compare. The sacredness we attribute to certain objects, places, or beings pales in comparison to the divine nature of our true self. The self, it cannot be fully captured in words. It is not something to be merely experienced, for experiences are transient and belong to the domain of the mind. The self, on the other hand, is ever present, unchanging and eternal. It is the background against which all experiences arise and fade. The world we perceive is a creation of our mind, and it is not separate from us. Just as a dream is a projection of the mind, so too is the waking world. To transcend the mind is to go beyond these projections and abide in pure awareness. In this state we realize that we are all one, united in the same consciousness. Differences dissolve, and we experience a profound sense of unity with all that is. In this state of pure awareness, there is no duality, no preference, no judgment. We are simply the awareness that witnesses all without attachment. This awareness is pure intelligence, ever present and unchanging. It is not affected by the states of waking, dreaming, or deep sleep. It is the constant backdrop to all experiences. The bliss that emanates from this awareness is not dependent on external circumstances. It is an intrinsic quality of the self, a massive bliss that is self-sustaining and independent of the world. When we see someone who is truly happy, we often ask what the reason is, because we're conditioned to believe that happiness must have an external cause. But true bliss is causeless. It is the nature of the self. This bliss cannot be fully known by the mind, for the mind operates in the realm of duality. To know the self completely, one must transcend the mind and merge into the awareness that is beyond thought. This requires a surrender of all that we think we are, our identities, our beliefs, our attachments. When we make this leap, we realize that the world, with all its apparent reality, is like a dream. And yet, even after awakening to this truth, the dream continues, but it no longer holds us captive. It becomes like a snake without poison, harmless and unable to cause suffering. In the realization, everything in the world becomes divine, infused with the light of pure awareness. The mind, which once seemed so important, loses its grip. It is the mind that needs activity, not the self. The self is ever at peace, ever present, and never bound by the cycles of birth and death. Right now, as you listen these words, you are that pure awareness. You are not the body, the thoughts, or the emotions. You are the unchanging principle that animates the body and mind, but is not affected by their changes. This awareness is within and around you, everywhere and at all times. Imagine a space within a room. If the walls of the room were to be demolished, the space would remain unaffected by the destruction of the walls. Similarly, the death of the body does not mean the death of awareness. Awareness is not bound by the physical form. It is eternal, infinite, and unchanging. We spend so much time acquiring knowledge about the world, yet the most important knowledge is the awareness of awareness itself. Once we realize this, all other knowledge becomes secondary. We may continue to perform our worldly duties, but the identification with them dissolves. We no longer see ourselves as the doer, but as the witness of all that happens. People often speak of pure thoughts and good intentions, but the pure state is one of no thought, of silence. Silence is divine because it is the true nature of the self. When the mind is still and thoughts have subsided, we remain fully aware and fully alive. This silence is not an absence but a presence. It is the essence of our being, the ground of all existence. When we dwell in this silence, we experience the fullness of life without the noise of the mind. This silence is not merely the absence of sound or thought, it is the purest form of consciousness. In silence we find the divine, and we realize that we are that silence. It is in this state that we truly exist, free from the bondage of thought, identity, and the illusions of the world. Let us embrace this silence, this awareness, this divine self, and in doing so, find the liberation that has always been ours. The world may continue to move and change, but within us there is a stillness, a purity, a truth that remains untouched. May we all find that truth within and live from it each day. Thank you for engaging in this sacred conversation. May we all attain the supreme bliss of knowing our pure self. As we go forward, let us carry this awareness with us, sharing it with those we meet and nurturing it within our own hearts. May our lives be a testament to this truth, and may we inspire others to embark on their own journey of self-discovery. In the end, it is not about the words we say or the practices we perform, but about the silent, pure awareness that underlies it all. Let us rest in that awareness, knowing that we are already complete, already whole, already free.